DeLacy Howard here with Third Movement. I want to bring a video to you guys. This is part two of the in the series of making Black Lives Matter again. I'm just gonna give a quick overview of what we're trying to do in this series, simply just because I just don't want people to really take what I'm doing out of context. If you don't know, go in the descriptions below, and the other videos are in there, so you can see this in a formatted, so you can see it in the way it's supposed to be heard, because I'm doing this as basically to be one video, one conversation with many videos, basically. All right, so let's get into it. In the first video, we started talking about basically an intro. What we hope to what I hope to have happen with this video series, and that is to really cause accountability on both sides of the aisle, because I do feel like this is shaping up to be a Democrat versus Republican issue with the Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. And to me, I just want to get down to the nitty gritty, and that is making all lives matter. But this whole series is about making Black Lives Matter, because this is what's close to home to me. Um, I see, I've been in situations where I've been pulled over because I've literally been in situations because I've been pulled over just because of my skin color. One time, I'm gonna give you a quick um, testimony, I believe. One time I was in a county over from where I lived, and a police I was turning to leave the county, and he was coming in the county, and he was the county that I was in cop. And I looked at him, and when I looked at him, he looked at me back. And I was turning, going in one direction, and he was coming literally in another direction. He did a U-turn. I was driving like it was nothing happened. I even turned on another road and started going towards my county. He came all the way in from his county and caught me right before I got on my county line. Now, I wasn't running. I wasn't whatever. And he pulled me over or whatever. And him and I, the cop and I had a conversation. And he seen me differently when me and him had that conversation. We talked, man, and we talked about everything. I asked him how he was doing, because it was a process it was something going on with the tags, and I was actually in a work vehicle. And it was something he had to, wait, we was there about a few minutes or whatever, and we had a conversation asking about his kids and everything, and we were just having and after he pulled me over, that conversation we had, he may have pulled me over because of one thing, but we had a conversation, and he seen me to be a different person. But I have been profiled just basically because of my skin color, so I can't speak to this. But I'm be honest with you, I've been pulled over in times where I should have got a ticket, man. One time I was going to church, and I was doing 60 trying to get to church on time, and the police pulled me over, and he seen me in my church attire, and he was like, you know what, sir, and it was a white guy. He was like, just kind of slow it down. And I was, once again, I was in another county, and I didn't know where I was going and everything, and I didn't. But he showed leniency or whatever. So I am able to speak on this, I'm able to speak on this from a point of view of, okay, let's get this figured out, right? So this is going to be focused on the history, when Black lives used to matter, right? And we seen the pictures, you seen the black community. There was a time where we may not had much, but we kept what we had was dear. Our houses, we kept our yards clean and everything, and that's very important. That's very important. And that's because more than stuff mattered to us, right? If you see there's a barbershop. Barbershops are still around today, but there's not as many as they used to be, black owned. But the barbershop was huge in the black community. It's where brothers came and we really talked to each other and we showed love to each other. You know, and in history, there is a history. We're after slavery, right? Slavery was this horrible thing that happened, uber horrible. Like I can't even use words to describe how horrible slavery was. But after we came out of slavery, black folks, we still build. We still built communities. Matter of fact, look up Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mean, that's one of the ones that's getting praises right now. But there was many Tulsa, Oklahomas all over America, right? And that shows you that we build, that black people build. Now, one of the things that happened in Tulsa, they said it was a race riot, but what happened was, um, they accused of one of the black men of looking at a white woman, and they went in and really just demolished it. There's documentaries all over the YouTube, and if you're gonna research this, research a few documentaries. Don't just take the first word for it. Make it make sense to you by researching. But we seen that what happened was, you know, the KKK and other white groups came in and destroyed it. Then you had, especially in the West, a lot of black communities was being built by black people, and highways was put in the middle of them to really stop the growth. And I'm not focused on the stoppage of growth. I'm focused on that there was growth. And black people back then knew that the power was in with each other and family and religion. Don't get it twisted. Religion played a huge role in these communities because if you see, there were some of the best churches, or some of the most beautiful churches. And if you look at the history of black people, we are very religious people, and religious play a big role. And we still are religious to this day. It may not be Christianity that we serve. It's a lot of other different religions. Some people are going back to the quote unquote historical religions of Africa, which there's never been a one religion in Africa, but that's a whole nother video. But some people are going back to the historical religions of Africa. So that religious need is still there. Now, me personally, I believe that the best way to get back to what we did was to really copy what they did. They depended on each other. There was no selfishness. Like we got these memes where it's cool to be by yourself, right? Like I don't trust nobody type memes, and we need to trust each other. A trust has to happen for us to really overtake everything that we've been going through. Like we can't seriously think that we can do this on our own, and that's one of the biggest things that the biggest downfalls of the community is the fact that we have been put against each other because of a lack of trust of each other. Like we even got men and women now in the black community going against each other, and that's never been so. How could if we look at the biblical Adam and Eve? Adam needed Eve, right? She was his helpmeet. It was when Eve came along that a lot of stuff was being done because she was there to help him. Let's not get it twisted. I know the biblical story of Adam and Eve and everything, but it was really Eve who helped Adam become better. And now we know about that the fall and everything. But the idea of doing this by yourself can't happen. So number one, we got to get rid of the idea of on our own. We need each other. We really need each other. Number two is we have to have that focus of we're gonna build no matter what, right? Because it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. But if we do it together, we can build. We can really build. And thirdly, we have to get our family back together. We have to put the family back together. You can say whatever you want. I know that that's the first thing that the conservatives attack, but the liberals attack it too, just in a different way. Like this ideal of free love and free sex cannot exist if we're gonna put the family back together. There's no way that it can exist. We have to get back focused on the family. When you build a family, when you build a family, the family then is gonna build a community. And that's what they don't want you to know. That's the biggest secret that they don't want you to know. When a man and woman is flowing together, that's powerful. That's powerful. God ordains that. Matter of fact, that marriage covenant is the only other covenant, but the covenant that we have of Jesus Christ. That's the two covenants that we have right now. And that's how powerful marriage is. And but they don't want you to know that. That's why they in the black community they sell you sex. That's why they put sex to be the most important thing, when sex is just something that comes and brings you together and help you more in a relationship. It's not the relationship. It helps you in a relationship. But as long as we can say, okay, well, I don't, a black man and black woman say we don't need each other, then there's going to be issues. There's going to be issues. It has to have. See, the reason why the Bible says that when there is two together touching and agreeing, I'll be in the midst. The most powerful thing that can happen is when a man and a woman are when a community, a group of people come together. There's power in that. And the enemy knows that. That's why he attacks marriages. Because he knows if he attacks marriage and break up a marriage, he's going to break up the community. And I don't care how you say it. It's not just in our community. It's in our community how marriages are breaking up communities. Every community where there's a high number of divorce, the community is horrible. And that's because that's what the enemy has. See, he been doing this for a long time. Usually, I don't really focus on the enemy because I think Jesus is greater. But we also have to realize that the enemy has been doing this for a long time, right? The tricks and the schemes of the devil. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been studying a long time. He knows. He knows that when you bring pornography in the house, that's gonna break the marriage up. He knows that pornography is gonna lead to wandering outside of that relationship, and now we have a lack of trust. The enemy knows that. And I hope to, in this video right here, in this series right here, I hope we realize that back in the day, the family was together. The family was together, and the family led to a strong community, right through church. You can't have a church community without the family. There's no way it can go down. So if we don't realize that these three things, right, the thing that we have to love each other. Matter of fact, the Bible says love God and love each other. We have to love each other. And loving each other does include loving white people. As much as you want to hate white people, I don't hate white people. I love them. And they have things that they have to deal with. They have to deal with those. But my life, I found that when I focus on the things that I need to focus on, when I focus on my responsibilities, that's a big word, and that's something that we don't like in our community. But when I focus on my responsibilities, it may not be pretty, the things that I have to be responsible for, but when I focus on those things and I put those, excuse me, when I put those in order, then everything else flows. And that's what I hope to see you guys to realize, that the family once was together. We actually loved each other, right? The community was together. And there's no community, there's no church without family. There's no church without that dynamic of family. What you're going to have is what we have today. All of these leaders are so corrupt. Well, not all of them. Most of the leaders are so corrupt. It's just sad. So we really need to focus back on getting the family back together. Focus on loving each other, trusting each other, because we need each other. The Chao Third Movement, please like, subscribe, and comment for more videos.